Hello there, my name is Brett, the bearded gnome, and I'm in Tresco Abbey Garden on a nice January day. January is when the colours start coming out at Tresco, such as this Leucadendron Inca gold right in front of me. It's just burst into flower, nice vibrant gold. And yeah, we've got some species of aloe that have just come out, some Kunzeas and some species in the family Winteraceae that I'll be showing you. Yeah, we had a flower count for the New Year's Day and we got to about 274 species, so there's so much to see out here over the New Year's and in January. Even when it's freezing on the mainland, there's just still things flowering all over Tresco. But yeah, come with me and I'll show you a bit around. So wintertime on Tresco is when all our aloes start coming out, and this one that's surrounding me is one called Aloe arborescens. The epiphyte arborescens, it means tree-like, and they can grow up to about 3 meters. These guys are doing pretty well for themselves. They've got this kind of bluey, greeny, fleshy leaves in a rosette shape with spines all around, and these racemes of reddish yellowy flowers that will start popping up. It's a multi-headed plant, so there's so many of them around me just coming up into flower. It's from South Africa and it's hardy to about 10 degrees. It's in family Asphalidaceae as well, so things like Nephophias are also in that family with like the typical flower spike coming up. In South Africa it's used as domestic stock hedging plant because it's so spiny, like cattle don't want to push through it, so it's pretty cool in that respect. And it's also got medicinal properties. It's used to treat burn victims, so it was actually found out in Hiroshima. It's how it got to the West, because it was used extensively out there to heal everyone, just because of how bad all the fires were. But yeah, it's a really cool plant and it's just everywhere on Tresco. So another species of aloe we have is this one called Aloe succotrina. It's native to Cape Town and the coastal mountainous areas around it. And the way to tell it apart is it's got these more upright, kind of dense rosette, dark green leaves with these white spikes around the outside. The flowers are a lot more red and they've got a slight shine to them. The stems are also a little bit darker than the arborescens, and it only grows up to about 1 meter. So just weaving its way around our top terrace is this lovely little compact shrub up here. It's called Acmadenia heterophylla, and it's in the citrus family, so Winteraceae, and the leaves have this really nice lemony smell to them. It's native to South Africa and it's hardy to about -5, and the pink flowers, they're really pretty. They've got 5 petals and this quite dark purple nectar guide in the middle, but it's always in bloom and it just looks incredible on our sloped top terrace up here. So sprawling down around these aloes and agaves, we have this amazing plant here called Kunzea baxteri. It's in family Myrtaceae and it's native to Australia, and it's got these massive bottle brush-like flowers. It's in the same family obviously, but there must be about 30 different flowers coming out of this cluster at the end. It's got these really nice red stamens with little yellow pollen bits around the outside. It's got elliptic leaves, and it was named after the English botanist William Baxter, I think, who was an English seed collector. But it does really well in this area we call Mexico because it's like a cliff face and it loves sandy soil. It also loves dry summers and wet winters, so it's perfect in the south of England. So another species of Kunzea up here, this one is Kunzea ambigua. It's an Australian species. It was one of the first Australian plants to be cultivated in England. The epiphyte ambigua means doubtful, uncertain origins, because they couldn't figure out what the name was. Opposed to the baxteri, it's got these small white flowers with these stamens poking out. It's got little green lanceolate leaves, and it's an excellent sandy soil erosion barrier. So it's used to stabilise sand dunes and things. It's hardy to about 0 degrees and it grows up to about 5 meters. Big examples around me, and the trunks can get quite thick, but yeah, it's not as in your face as the baxteri, but just as equally as pretty. It's so easy in this garden to just walk past something and not even notice it, but this little thing here is just flowering now. It's a winter flowering plant. It's Canarina canariensis, so native to the Canary Islands, and it's in family Campanulaceae, as you can see by these bell flowers, but it's like a winter flowering climber, and it dies back in the summer and starts growing again in the winter. So it's almost a reverse herbaceous plant, but it's got these really fascinating little flowers, and the veins are just so complex inside. It's really pretty, really dainty, and it's just does its own thing around here. So in the well garden now, and this tree behind me that's towering over everything else is one called Drimys winteri. It's in family Winteraceae, and it's native to Chile and Argentina. The leaves are lanceolate, they're green with a slightly white underside, as you can see. The flowers are born in umbels, and they're white and jasmine scented. They're quite pretty this time of year, and they've been flowering for a few weeks. The tree itself, it's got some medicinal properties. It used to be used as a remedy for scurvy because the bark was quite high in vitamin C, and the leaves can be used as an essential oil to repel insects. The cool thing about Drimys is that it has pneumotypic plasticity, which means it grows in a varied amount of conditions. So even in the wetlands in Chile to the more dry areas of the country, it still thrives, and here it's just doing really well. So just next to our Drimys is this plant here called Pseudowintera colorata. It's also in family Winteraceae, so the two go hand in hand, planted next to each other. And it's got this nice lime green foliage with a silver underside. It's a New Zealand shrub, and the common name for it is the pepper bush. And as you can imagine, the leaves have a very sour, peppery taste to them. It's not pleasant, but the cool thing is that it's used as an oral remedy, like an oral healthcare remedy, and it also helps internal problems too. It's quite a prehistoric plant. There was fossil records found of this species about 65 million years ago, which is crazy. It's in a group of plants called the magnolioids, so it's got quite prehistoric flowers, and if you can see here, they're flowering all on the old wood, all down the stem. It's a slow growing plant, so it does take a little while to get going, but yeah, the foliage is really quite pretty. So growing alongside the wall of the old abbey is this amazing plant here from New Zealand. It's called Clianthus puniceus, or the lobster claw plant. It's in family Fabaceae, and it's got these amazing purpley red flowers, these tubular flowers that are all hanging down in clusters. You can tell it apart because it's got these oblong pinnate leaflets, and the flowers, they have this weird little cuticle that pops open. It ruptures out when the flower's ready to be pollinated to protect the stigmas from cross-pollination. But yeah, it's critically endangered in its own country, and it grows to about 2 meters. This one's doing really well here, and all around Tresco Abbey Garden they're just flowering now, and they look amazing. So just coming into flower now is this plant here called Digitalis canariensis. It used to be an isoplexus, and it was reclassified because, well, it looks very similar to a foxglove. The epiphyte canariensis means it's from the Canary Islands, and it's native to the laurel forests in the Canaries, so it grows in kind of shady woodland conditions. But it's in family Plantagenaceae, and it's got these elliptic leaves with toothed margins, and the flowers, the inflorescence, are about 3 centimeters, but it's this lovely orange colour, and you can just see the little anthers popping out from the flower there. But yeah, it's an amazing foxglove. I've always been obsessed with foxgloves, even like the regular Digitalis purpurea, but this one, it's incredible.